I mean, take these guys at PTR Radio, just look at these basement dwellers. Two fat guys, and someone who thinks he's a freaking monkey. The end is near, folks.
And now back to just a great podcast. I mean, really great bunch of guys, just the biggest and best stars on the podcast scene.
And now back to PTR Radio with Mike the Ape Man, Shaggy, and Colin. These three guys should really come with a warning label, maybe like for rectal use only. Feel my body, drink my wine.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. I hope everybody's getting their green out, you know, shining up their shillelaghs, and getting their green beer together, you know, maybe training up for the massive drink fest that's going to occur this weekend, if they didn't already do it this last weekend.
Do you know my final night of hockey for this season is this Friday? And yeah, we were at the store and Kim said, well, I guess we're not eating corned beef on Friday, are we? No.
What?
Well, that's all right, because we're trying to cut back on our sodium intake, and corned beef has...
It doesn't have any.
Very, very high.
It's got all corn.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It's just corn.
Sure.
Yeah. There's no nitrates in it whatsoever.
Of course not.
No. No, as long as you don't include any cabbage, you're fine. That's what my doctor says. That's what Dr. Shane McGillicuddy says.
Shane McGillicuddy.
Yes.
Famous liquor person. Yeah. I told her, I said, we can do it Saturday. We can go to the store on Saturday and probably get it for half price.
Yeah. Yeah, we're eating it Saturday.
So.
Not because we wouldn't eat it on Friday, but just because we're having people over on Saturday. So.
Yeah.
I'll caution on one thing. Always cook corned beef normally. I've tried corned beef sous vide once. I tried corned beef on the smoker once. And I decided both ways were stupid. They actually just did not work. So
there are some things that you just don't need to experiment with. I agree.
If there's one thing about the Irish, they know how to boil meat. You know?
Yes. Because the Irish, you know, they did, they invented the crock pot, didn't they?
Yes.
Which to them is basically called cooking. That's it. I mean, Irish cuisine, boil something for 17 hours so you can drink it to a straw. That's Irish cuisine.
Yes.
Well, although you do know the 100% mandatory rule about getting a good corned beef is if something is really a genuine Irish restaurant, don't go there expecting corned beef because they won't have it.
No.
Don't go to Ireland expecting good corned beef. They have no idea what you're talking about.
No. So no, but you can get good whiskey there. They don't screw around with that. You know, so yes, welcome to PTR Radio. If you're unfamiliar with the show, this is what it is. Three guys sitting around talking about whatever we want. A lot of times, it's food, it's TV, it's movies, it's weird news from around the web. It's whatever we feel like discussing at the time. So, you know, you can chime in with the show at PTR Radio on your favorite instant message, you know, platform. We'll be looking at those throughout the evening. So if you have something that you want to chime in on, feel free. We'll pop it up on the screen if we really like it. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on. The Oscars, I guess, happened, and
it was the best Oscars in years.
I don't know. Wasn't the last ones kind of kind of interesting. I mean, I think they were newsworthy.
They were newsworthy, but they weren't very good.
I mean,
so this Oscars, it was a good Oscars.
So as somebody who did not watch it, go ahead. Please explain why, because I did not watch it.
What's terrible at the Oscars is when people who have always won Oscars keep winning more Oscars, and they go up there and they just thank everybody, and maybe they have some political nonsense that they spout off, but for the most part, it's nobody cares. This time, there were so many winners who have been around for so long and have never won, and were so emotional. And it was the first Oscars in years where the in memoriam was not the only part where you felt like crying, because there was so much emotion attached to all these people winning these.
Funny enough, you talk about the in memoriam, because as per normal, it wrangled some feathers.
It always does. Yes.
Which is why at the end of it, they stick a giant QR code on the TV and says, hey, if you want to see everybody else who died this year, stick your phone up, take a picture of this thing, go to there, and we'll have everybody else.
How did they decide? Is this like the Hollywood Walk of Fame where whoever's family contributes the most money gets their stuff on TV? Because some of these people, I obviously they're behind the scenes folks, so I've never heard of them. But some of the actors that were up there, I'm like, now how did you get up there and not this one?
Yeah.
Well, they do prioritize actors who either were nominated or who actually won the Academy Award. So you get these actresses and actors that you never heard of, but 45 years ago, they won an Oscar.
Okay.
So who was left off the list? Because I haven't kept track of what people were complaining about.
Oh, there were. So not necessarily off the list. As I was going through, because the initial ones that everybody got mad about were Anne Heche, Paul Sorvino, Leslie Jordan, Barbara Walters, and Tom Sizemore. So I have feelings about some of them. The thing that is worth pointing out, like you said, they had the QR code. So if you go and you look at the list, you can see people who were left off.
Yeah.
And because Kim had said to me, like, well, didn't this one die last year? And I was like, well, no. They're on the look, when you do the look back, they're on the website. They just they weren't on air.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm going through, I don't know if anybody else went through and looked at any of these, if anybody stood out that wasn't in there. The ones that I mentioned, obviously, Coolio, for the love of God, Coolio was left off. Bernard Cribbins, I believe, was left off.
And who can forget Coolio's contribution to the movie Toys?
They were pointing out Charlie Dean, who is an actress, was nominated or starred in one of the movies that was nominated in 3 different categories this year, and she was left off. So that one seemed a little odd.
Yeah.
I was trying to look through and see what movies Leslie Jordan was in, because that was the biggest name that was in your list.
Ski School.
Yeah, Ski.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
come on. What else does he need to be in? Actually, he was
Gilbert
in one.
Gottfried was left off. Philip Baker Hall was left off. Estelle Harris was left off.
I was saying,
already said
if someone is
Anne Heche.
mostly known for television, that they're more likely to be left off. Now, unless you're is it Nichelle? Anyway, yeah, there's a couple in there like they were thrown in just to make people happy. But I'm going to say like Leslie Jordan is probably like he's going to show up in the Emmys list, possibly even more the Emmys.
Okay.
Right, because the Emmys will be at right before the new season starts. So I mean, they may have already picked him up in the Emmys last year. I can't remember exactly when he died.
Leslie Jordan? That was this year.
Yeah. No, it was last year.
It was 2022. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It would have. So one of the things I did, and this is how sad my life is, I picked out a couple of the names, and I went to the master record for the death pool, which, yes, I do still maintain it in the event that we decide to ever bring this back. But I looked at people that passed away before, and I found a couple that passed away before Leslie Jordan that were included in the in memoriam this year. So that was kind of where I don't think Ray Liotta was actually in the thing.
He died in October, so that was after the Emmys. So my guess is Leslie Jordan will be well represented in the memoriam at the Emmys in that's not August
and
September. I think that's what it's at the very beginning of the new season next year is when the Emmys would be.
Okay, and that's fair. And during the Emmys, they better have Roger E. Mosley on there because, he's a very important TV actor.
Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, they always do
so
miss
here's
somebody.
One. Here. The other one, Topol. And I know that's not his full name, but the guy played Fiddler on the Roof. The guy played Dr. Hans Zarkov. He was left off. Come on now. That's what I'm saying. I do get what you're saying.
For Tonys.
So Mama Blair says they had an Oscar icon next to the names of the ones who had previously won. Were there any of the ones left off past winners?
So without going through the entire list and looking, because oddly enough, that designation does not appear on the web page that shows all of these names. Fred Ward, David Warner, they were left off. I mean, Fred Ward, this is Reno freaking Williams. He was Virgil Gus Grissom in The Right Stuff.
Evidently, Bob Saget, Ed Asner, Norm Macdonald, maybe you said those. But they also
No, I did not.
Did not include them.
They're not even on
Bob Saget
the look back.
would not show up at the Oscars. I mean, yes, there are names that you've listed that should show up at the Oscars, but
so, like I said, my whole thing with it is I just don't understand. Now, to your point, Colin, I do appreciate the fact that so many first-time winners and folks. So, all right. So the big three that everybody's talking about: Brendan Fraser.
Yep.
Brendan Fraser died, and they left him out. That is incredible.
Okay, stop that.
Boy, the gall of Hollywood. I mean,
stop that. Catch up.
It's ridiculous.
Catch up now. We've jumped to another topic. Stay along, unless you're drinking.
No.
So, okay. So, Brendan Fraser winning the Oscar for Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lee Curtis winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. I was shocked to find out that she had never won an Oscar until last night.
I mean, how could she not for that scene in True Lies?
What did you say, Colin?
As she pointed out, her parents had been nominated, but they had never won.
Okay.
So unlike her parents, there's finally an Academy Award. There's an Oscar in her family. Yes, it was a big part of her speech.
Okay. And the other big part of her speech was Angela Bassett not clapping to show respect.
Yeah, that was...
And then, of course, Mr. Short Data Round, Ke Kwan, I just like saying his name.
Yes.
That him winning, and Michelle Yeoh winning also. So there were a lot of, like you said, first-time winners, and quite a bit, even in some of the other categories. So yes, it was very entertaining in that respect. Nobody had to get cut off for a time for speeches, probably because none of the people that won expected to win.
So they didn't bother preparing a speech.
They were giving good speeches. They weren't giving boring. I mean, Key, at least, he thanked his lawyer, which he has to. And we like that he thanks his lawyer because his lawyer was one of his fellow Goonies. So that's something that we look forward to seeing.
Huh?
Yeah. Chunk.
Chunk is Chunk's his lawyer?
Yes. He decided to become a lawyer when he grew up. And he's actually Key's lawyer.
Thanked his Goonies brother for life.
Okay.
Interesting. Now, the fun thing is that Jimmy Kimmel pointed out is that Key and Brendan Fraser were actually in a movie together.
Yes, and that movie was released 32 years ago. So the 35th anniversary edition of this movie needs to be a special edition featuring Oscar award-winning actors Key and Brendan Fraser. Yes, Encino Man.
Yes. But she also pointed out...
Has Sean Astin won anything?
I thought he did for Lord of the Rings.
He's won a Screen Actors Guild Award, a Critics' Choice Movie Award, an MTV Movie and TV Award, a BAFTA Award.
He's won an Academy Award for Best Short Film.
He was an Oscar nominee.
Oh, yeah.
He's won the Saturn Award, the ACCA. Nominee.
What was the best short film that he won? Anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's probably the short film that he taped in New Zealand with the help of the crew from Lord of the Rings.
It was in 1995, so I'm not sure.
No, yeah. Okay.
Let's see. 95.
Yeah, I don't think he's won any Oscars or Golden Globes.
Oh, who cares about
Lieberman in Love? No, that can't be right. Anyway,
no Academy Awards, no.
But no, if I was Pauly Shore, I would be making phone calls right away, get them royalties. Get that royalty money flowing. 35th anniversary edition of Encino Man.
Yeah.
And prominently feature. Any movie that Brendan Fraser is in, prominently feature him now as Academy Award winning Best Actor Brendan Fraser.
Well,
Doom Patrol needs to be renewed for another season on the back of him winning
yes,
the Academy Award.
Mm-hmm. Starring Academy Award winner Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
So I was about to say, and then the Academy Awards finished the way that everybody wanted the Academy Awards to finish, which was with Short Round hugging Indiana Jones on stage at the Oscars.
Who was supposed to present with Harrison Ford? Somebody was supposed to present.
It was the previous one, which was Best Actor. Best Actor traditionally should have been Will Smith presenting.
No. Somebody was supposed to present alongside Harrison Ford, and they tested positive for COVID. It was a female actress, and she had to bail out. I want to say Glenn Close, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Glenn Close bows out of Oscars presenter gig after catching COVID.
Okay. Okay, that's right. It was going to be an Air Force One reunion with Glenn Close and Harrison Ford. That's the reunion that they were talking about. Okay. So a different reunion. We would have had two reunions. A double reunion.
Yeah.
A de-union.
A dual union. So,
personally, I respect, as Kim and I were talking about, I prefer the Screen Actors Guild Awards only because it's your peers voting for you, saying you did an excellent job. The rest of these award shows, from the Grammy, I don't care if it's the Grammys, the Emmys, the Oscars, the Tony, it's all just a publicity thing.
What about the MTV Awards, Mike?
Well,
no, Kids' Choice Awards.
What about? But the MTV Awards. Do you think Downtown Julie Brown is still in the review panel for those?
No, because she's employed by Sirius now. All of the VJs are.
Man, so what? Now they just got Jersey Shore guys voting on these?
No, it's only Kurt Loder and Idalis.
Okay.
They're the only two that.
What about the guy from Headbangers Ball? Is he there anymore?
No. The tie-breaking vote, if needed, is whoever wins the Road Rules Real World Challenge season.
Is it Haig or whatever the hell his name is? Huck? Is that guy still around? Is he in there?
No, because this season it's the challenge Ride or Die.
Ah, okay.
But,
now, let's just,
Colin, we cut you off.
I need to back through that list. Right, so let's see. The Academy Awards is voting by the Academy members, which is it's like so it's everybody from the Screen Actors Guild, plus the directors and the cinematographers and the sound people and the makeup. So the Academy Awards is all of those people who make the movies voting on it.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on the Grammys. I assumed that was just all the producers and the musicians that everybody the same way, but I never pay attention to the Grammys, so I'm not sure. I think the Tonys are the same way, just on Broadway. And then the Emmys are just like the Oscars, except it's all the TV people. So it's still all the actors and the producers and the writers and all that. Now the Golden Globes are random journalists in Europe.
That's the Hollywood Foreign Press. They don't count.
Yeah, and
they've proven to be racist anyway. So
Mike,
People's Choice. That's.
I have something, Mike. How would you like to have a say-so in a major award being assigned? You don't have to join an academy. You don't have to be a top executive, but you could have the say-so in an entertainment award that is now regarded higher than the Oscars.
The fact that you were speaking so serious about this while wearing that hat, I am a little concerned.
What if I told you for a one-time fee of $500?
Nope.
One time.
$500?
One time.
You want $500?
Or $40 a year, your choice. You could be a voting member of the Razzies panel.
No.
Yes.
Nope, I don't want to do it. I'm not paying to vote.
Why not? People pay for your vote all the time.
Yet pay me for the vote. I'm not. No, if the Razzies want us, the hosts of PTR Radio, to be part of their panel and their judging, they need to pay us or promote us somehow. I'm not paying them.
Well, that would be great, but I don't know that'll work.
There is no but when it comes to this. It's period, full stop. If we will provide input if we are being paid.
I mean, I think
Awards, people.
I mean, I think that we could definitely give them a fresh perspective, given our vast experience in reviewing movies.
Correct.
I mean, who has watched more horrible movies than us? Willingly.
That is still alive.
Yeah.
Right, because Roger Ebert would make you believe he's watched everything that was horrible.
Yeah, but what he watched that was horrible, they paid a lot of money for. We've watched stuff that was made like on a Taco Bell budget.
Taco Bell budget. I like that. I'm going to use that. 2
chalupas and a churro.
Okay.
So.
No, I feel like if we got involved with the Razzies, it would take away from the credibility if we got involved with the Razzies.
The credibility
of are incredibly credible.
The credibility of the double feature movie review, you mean?
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I feel like we could no longer be biased because we'd be judging these bad movies for the public, awarding them. We can't play favorites. We can't even give the impression that we are playing favorites.
Speaking of favorites, I did post something the other day because it has been confirmed that a movie is going to happen. A spin-off.
I don't know how the hell I missed this one because let me tell you something. I am so in on this. In fact, you know what? I cannot believe that I did not share this to my feed, and I have to do that right now.
So a few weeks ago, we talked about Cocaine Bear and how it's based on a true story movie, right? Which then, sparked a wave of like alternative titles. Like Meth Gator was going to be one. And lo and behold, I believe probably one of our most favorite production companies is going to come out with Cocaine Shark. And we have to watch it.
Are we going to have a cocaine double feature?
I don't know. We might.
We may have to.
I mean, we might have to do a cocaine OD.
Wow. I just shared this to my timeline on Facebook because I don't know why I had not shared it previously, and I feel like a failure, the fact that I hadn't, and basically just said, "Ho, Lee, shit." Anyone who says this is going to be dumb or thinks it shouldn't be made, keep comments to self, please and thanks, because I don't care. I do have some friends who are very passionate about Jaws and feel like no other movie should ever be made about sharks. When you add cocaine to a shark, okay, the only thing that you need is to have a weather event. This could have easily expanded the Sharknado franchise. Movie.
It could have rolled through Colombia, a tornado that rolls over the Colombian shore. That's all you would have needed. So
Avalanche Sharks meets Better Off Dead, and this is pure snow. Yes. See?
do you know what the street market of this mountain is? So yes, but I am enthused about Meth Gator. I want like
here's my problem, here's my problem with Meth Gator. Okay, hear me out. What is the stereotypical issue of people who are addicted to meth?
They lose their teeth.
Okay. And what is an alligator's primary weapon?
And they itch their face a lot. They got a lot of scabs. So what if you had just a very aggressive
toothless gator
who gums you to death?
Oh, wow. The grandma gator.
Yeah.
Now, Meth Gator is Asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're not going to review it.
I don't know. We had a block on Asylum because we had an Asylum movie for like a run of like months.
And I think
Asylum movie after Asylum movie.
And I think we decided we weren't going to do 2 Asylum movies in a row anymore. That we needed to break them up.
Well,
with some
the
sanity.
last time we did it, we said all Asylum movies have the same rating, Asylum, because they're all the same. It's just they have different animals, different actors. That's really the plot is always the same. They are the hallmark of.
Well, except for we have had
said.
some examples, like Zombies was Asylum, but it was really pretty exciting. Was Zombies not Asylum? I really thought it was.
Zombies was. I do not believe Zombies was an Asylum movie.
I don't know.
I mean,
but yeah,
Sharknado was Asylum.
Yes.
So Asylum could make something interesting. It's just that we kept hitting them that they had about 3 minutes worth of plot, and they just kept going through those same 3 minutes of plot for 5 hours.
So here are the latest releases on Asylum. Okay, let's just see if this Ape versus Monster, Aquarium of the Dead, Devil's Triangle, Insect, Jungle Run, Mega Boa, Planet Dune, Ape versus Monster. Yeah, that's the latest one.
Where? Oh, really? Now, because I'm looking on IMDb and I have for Asylum, they have several in post production.
Well, these are the latest releases.
Okay, so Attack of the Meth Gator. I stormed in. Oh, okay. 2025 Armageddon. I'm sorry, did I zone out here? Did you say Doc Sauvage, Man of Copper?
No, I did not.
Okay, then you must not be reading. We're looking at different lists.
I'm reading directly from the Asylum website.
Oh, okay. I'm reading from IMDb where they are credited. So they may not be the primary production company, but they are partnered with. So we have Attack of the Meth Gator, Ice Storm, The Wedding in the Hamptons, 3 Dates to Forever, Doc Sauvage, Man of Copper.
Is it Sauvage or Savage?
Sauvage.
Okay.
2025 Armageddon, Crown Prince of Christmas. Wait a second now. Hold on. Stop. No.
Are they working for Hallmark? Are they working for Hallmark?
The Asylum cannot get into Christmas movies. This is not allowed.
Oh my God! Yes, they can, because on the Asylum's official website, they have ones which are co-hosted with Hallmark. The Christmas Bells, a BET Presents production. Whoever thought they were going to go together with that? They do have, where was it? There was a wedding one that I just saw. Izzy's Way Home, featuring Tori Spelling and Joey Fatone, a kid's cartoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the streams have been crossed. The Asylum is now making Christmas Hallmark movies.
Oh my God. A Snow Globe Christmas.
And not even anything to do with sharks.
Love at the
Santa
Table.
Sharks.
Love at the Christmas Table, starring Leah Thompson. Who knew? Oh my. Princess and the Pony? And it's not like where the pony went like rogue and bit everybody. It's, look at this, Mike. They made Princess and the Pony. And they sandwiched it in between Exorcist and Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus.
Yeah, keep scrolling down. Let's see what else.
Princess of Mars, Sherlock Holmes. Why does Sherlock Holmes have a dinosaur? Sexpot, the Land That Time Forgot. We've watched that. Transmorphers, we've watched that. Sunday School Musical. Oh my goodness. The 9/11 Commission Report.
Oh hell no. This is we are going down a rabbit hole here.
Hallmark presents Love Letter.
See? This ain't right.
No, this is completely wrong. This is 100% wrong.
Wait, go back down. Go back down. A little bit more. Keep going. You'll know when to stop. Trust me.
Yeah.
Golden Winter. Look at that.
Yes.
Shannon Elizabeth, Haley Duff, dog movie.
Right? In between.
And the dogs are not killing anybody.
No, they're not even rabid. I don't see any foam at all around their mouth. It's ridiculous. Who do they think they are? A legitimate production company? No, it's ridiculous. They need to learn their lane. So, yeah. Oh, well, I guess we learned something. You can't depend on the Asylum for decent films. You know?
For indecent films, you mean?
It's just... What's next? Really, what's next? What is this world coming to, Mike?
I don't know.
Next.
I'm about ready to ban your ass from adding anything to this suggestion sheet because I just went in and cleaned it up, and I see some titles on here that I.
Next thing you know, college students won't be able to binge drink from gallon jugs. And is that a world that we want to live in?
So let's talk. Yeah. So not only do these damn college students have the nerve to do something stupid like this, but they're ganking they're taking something from Star Trek from us. All right. They're trying to turn Borg into something evil, which the way that this world works, That's an abbreviation for blackout rage gallon.
Yeah.
However, the way that our government and idiot elected officials work, they will try and ban Star Trek because Borgs are killing our college students.
Yeah.
Some idiot politician will do it. You know it's true. Maybe
Now,
George Santos. I don't know. But somebody's going to try and ban Star Trek because of this. They're taking gallon jugs. And listen, I've done similar stuff for parties where you make an Everclear based punch, but usually you cut it with water and Tang or ice. These folks are pretty much doing Everclear in a gallon jug with fruit punch or something. 28 ambulances were called in one weekend to parties on the campus of University of Massachusetts. So these massholes, as I've come to call them, it bothers me that they show females in the picture as well because I foresee some kind of college scandal coming up soon as a result.
And the one is holding not only her Borg, but also then a Bang energy drink. You know, because mixing stimulants and depressants is a great idea.
Well, listen, not for nothing. I've done that. Monster and vodka. I've done that in Vegas.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that happened to me was I got a damn tattoo, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. But what's what is interesting
I'm sorry. They're mixing it with Gatorade because, electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah,
why don't you mix it with Brondo?
Yeah, it stops the hangover, or so they say.
Brondo has electrolytes.
What I found interesting was the article you posted wasn't actually the first article I'd heard about this. I had read about this on health.com where it says, does TikTok's Borg trend really promote harm reduction, or is it just binge drinking? Because some people are claiming that Borg drinking is a harm reduction strategy.
What?
Because it says, okay, well, this gallon jug is all I'm going to drink. So rather than going and continuing to go back for drink after drink after drink, that is all that you're going to drink. But the problem is that is still a gallon container of hard liquor. And even if it's only half hard liquor, that is a lot. As Cullen's sister and I can attest to, drinking massive amounts of hard liquor in one foul swoop is not a good idea. As we found out, yes?
I would like to know how. My question is a two-parter. Thank you for acknowledging me.
Yes.
Part one, which sister? And part two, what?
There was an episode of PTR Radio from many, many years ago.
Yes. This is one of my bad decisions. We just both drank. Thank you. Nothing else. Because McKenna and I.
Okay.
It was not McKenna.
No, it wasn't McKenna. Sorry.
Yeah. McKenna, much like I, am not going to drink that much. There's just no way to get us to drink that much in the first place.
No, yes. No.
Okay.
No. So
it was the sister that has not made an appearance on this iteration of PTR.
Correct. So yes.
Okay.
So we both I had a bad day and I picked a bad night to drink heavily and was drinking cheap vodka. So we both worked on a lot of cheap vodka. And yeah. McKenna writes in, the answer's not me. So,
and look, I was not trying to out whoever it was.
Yeah.
Okay, I was not
Yeah.
looking for. I just am trying to paint the picture because I was not aware of this scenario. That's all.
So anyway,
Don't come to Jersey trying to kill me, please, God. Lord.
So yeah, but anyway, we were over at Nick's house doing the show. Decided to just
enough said.
And drink and it resulted in Nate and Nick needing to not only drive me home, but then carry me upstairs and into bed because walking was not an option.
It's not the first time you've done that in relation to this show.
No. I have been able to stumble. This time I was not able to stumble.
I recently found video of you trying to do the electric slide.
Oh yeah, I deleted that video a little while ago off of my machine. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
that is backed up in 3 different places.
Yeah. So
and burned to DVD.
Yeah. So, boy, young and stupid go together a lot. But anyway,
Don't they?
Yeah.
Old and stupid go together a lot sometimes too. I found myself staring down a can of Four Loko at the liquor store the other day and then realized, what the hell am I thinking? I'm going to be 50 years old next year. And Four Loko is a young man's game.
Yeah.
As I sit here and drink 90 proof Jim Beam.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. You know, you find yourself going, it's a school night again. I can't do this. So.
Oh, yeah.
You find yourself going, that kind of conflicts with that medication and that. Oh, it's pretty bad with that medication.
Oh, yeah. I don't even want to think about that part.
But yeah. What kills me is there were people saying that this is a way to combat binge drinking. This is binge drinking.
Yes.
That's what this is. You can't drink a fifth or a 750 ml bottle and not call it binge drinking. That's what it is.
No.
By definition. So, and I know because you've been there. It was a dumb move.
Okay. Mama Blair writes in. Purple Passion in Papa Blair's frat made in a bathtub, Everclear and fruit juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
very similar. Like my big thing was Evertang. I would take an entire thing of Tang, dump it in a bowl, and then thing of Everclear and water. And that was it. That was what I would make with a bag of ice.
And let's not mince words here. Everybody has done something stupid. Okay? Except for maybe Colin.
Some of us still do. No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I'm not trying to encourage this, but if I were ever somewhere, if we were hanging out and Colin got shit-faced drunk, I would not only volunteer to be the designated driver and cover that bar tab, I could probably die that night in my sleep a happy man. Because I will have seen a unicorn.
Yeah, you and me both.
The most I've had to drink was in Vegas at the Cirque du Soleil show, where I got this giant icy thing that was full of liquor of some kind. Now, I've been told by people I was there that, but I also had an extremely bad cold. So I don't know what part of it was me intoxicated and what part of it was just me being sick. Okay. So that's the most I've had. I will just say, to answer anybody's questions of what is Colin like when he's drunk? The answer is asleep.
Yeah, I would bet Colin's a quiet drunk. I would bet. I'm not. I'm not. I'm pretty happy.
Now, okay, so I got to ask the question. Does the type of drunk you are, Shag, depend on what you're drunk off of?
No, not usually.
Okay.
Not usually.
Because I have found that if I am drinking hard liquor, I tend to be more loud and boisterous. Whereas if I'm drinking beer, I'm more mellow and apt to want to go to bed.
I will say, though, I haven't been beer drunk in forever because I just don't drink it very often anymore.
I mean, obviously, after hockey, I go and have some beers with the guys, but I don't get beer drunk.
Yeah.
Anymore. I don't drink enough to get beer drunk.
Yeah.
Hard liquor wise, though, it was John Panette who once said that he can't drink tequila because tequila makes him want to ski. And after a couple of shots, he actually demands his skis, but he does not know how to ski. That's why I don't drink Jägermeister anymore. Because Jägermeister makes me want to do things that are typically frowned upon in public, such as taking off my clothes. And
no, I just my filter tends to come off. That's the thing. Is the filter tends to come away, and then suddenly my already poor judgment skills get even worse.
And see, so Mama Blair talking about the drink made at Papa Blair's frat, and I just had this conversation with guys like the frats at Rutgers when I went. Not so much at DeVry because, well, there weren't frats. There wasn't anything at DeVry. When I went to Rutgers, the frats, if you went to a frat party and they had a beer truck, you know they were the cool frat. If you went to a party and they were handing out Natty Ice, you knew you had a better chance of getting lucky with an ugly chick. Or you were going to throw up in the yard, because cheap liquor is, let's just be fair. Shaggy, you are a Scotch connoisseur?
I'm a whiskey connoisseur anymore.
Whiskey. Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize. So, cheap whiskey hits you harder and is not as kind the next day as good whiskey.
Oh, it
correct?
Is harsh, both sides of the fence. Yep.
Okay, so the same can be said to an extent for beer.
Oh yeah.
If your beer is $10 per a 30-pack versus an import that is $18 for a 6-pack, chances are you're going to feel a lot worse and your inhibitions are going to come a lot further down with the cheap stuff. It's going to hit you worse.
Yeah, we were, when I went to Western, it was, your all-use were, you had two kinds. Either one was they were serving cans. So it was like, hey, slide them you're empty, they'll slide you a new one. That was high class, right? And that was fast service. The other ones, you walk in, you pay your $3, they give you a red Solo cup. And then you stand in line and wait for the keg of Natty Light Ice. Or Keystone Light Ice, depending upon which one. And that was your choices.
Wait, you just added a word to my favorite beer right now. What is this Keystone Light Ice that you speak of?
I think it was there.
Oh, Keystone Ice. Okay, do they still make that?
I don't know.
Because I drink.
Yes, we had a guy who loved Keystone so much he carved it into his closet door in the dorm and did not care about the fine that he was going to end up in.
Okay. So Keystone Ice has been discontinued. Keystone Light is completely different. I still drink Keystone Light, a.k.a. you could call me Mr. Keith Stone because it's $18 for a 30-pack, and quite frankly, it tastes pretty damn good for that price.
Yeah.
So,
well, the other thing that was big at the time was also Red Dog beer.
Yes. Red Dog used to be on tap at the bar that sponsored my roller hockey team.
So, evidently it's back.
They still make it. And
Yeah.
Red Dog is one of those beers. Red Dog and Keystone are the two beers that I will bring to a party if it's BYOB. For the fact that it's very easy to identify who's dipping in my cooler to drink my beer.
Yeah. So
Nobody else is bringing that to a party. Trust me.
yeah. And see, when I initially went to college, I took with me a 6-pack of Red Wolf, which is from Anheuser-Busch, which was much worse than Red Dog. Oh my God, was it terrible? I think it was skunky when I took it with me. That was the part of the problem.
That was that was part of the appeal.
So, but yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I was only at college for a year. It was Western. I was only there for a year. Didn't have a single drink.
I was only there for a year and a half, but I can tell you within the first month, I definitely went to a few parties because that was the experience. You wanted to go. So, and what was crazy was I was prompted to go because I was on when I got into college, I was on the floor where you were basically already on academic probation. So, all the other people on the floor were in the same situation as me. And so it was like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, getting ready for class tomorrow. Why? And they're like, come on. We're having a party. Didn't you read the sidewalk? There's this party and that party and that party and that party. Come on, we're going at $3 for all you can drink. I'm like, okay. I want to make friends. I'll go. So, yeah.
You see, I was on the honors floor.
Yeah, totally different
I
floors.
was on the off.
Totally different floors.
So that floor was full of people like me who were like, "There's parties."
And here I was at Rutgers. I was I commuted, which is key, like to, not graduating because I don't know, traffic.
Yep.
And stupidity. Oh, let me take all 8 o'clock classes because the 8 o'clock class is the only one that I didn't miss any last semester. Oh no, horrible idea. 8 o'clock classes every day. No, horrible idea.
Yep.
I'll just say, like I said, I was only there for a year, and then I was not going to be on the honors floor for the second year, but I never returned, so it didn't matter.
Yep. So, Mike, talking about not turning out well in the long run, you posted an article about a woman in Spain who is getting what we would call maintenance here. It's probably called alimony over there from her husband for marriage, divorce settlement.
Why do you wait until I'm half done with my alcohol to start bringing up these topics that could get me in trouble later?
Because it's much more fun that way.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, no, I mentioned this one to Kim because I said we're going to talk. She asked me, what are you guys going to talk about? I said, well, I'm going to talk about this article. So here's the thing. The short thing here is that the woman got divorced after 25 years, and the court ordered the ex-husband to pay her $215,000 for 25 years of housework during their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kim, being the huge fan of Judge Judy, said this is one of those things that would make Judge Judy say, I don't care. You were married. That's something that you're supposed to do when you're married. You're supposed to take care of your house and you're supposed to clean. I'm not giving you anything for that. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy, on the other hand, decided to get all philosophical and factual and researchical. Is that a word? I don't know. It is now.
So what I was looking at was, okay, he's gonna have to pay 204 pounds, or euros actually, 204,000 euros. So I started like breaking down the math here, right? So because it came out to 500 euros, basically for her, for the housework, and then another 600 or about 400 euros for the housework, and then another 600 euros for the two daughters for child support. Okay, so when we start to look at the money and how that works out, well, that means that she only got paid about 6,000 euros a year to be a maid. All right, better than most maids. Let me put it that way, because a wife does a lot more than just what a maid would do. A maid's gonna vacuum, maybe do the dishes, probably not the laundry. At least maids around here, they'll basically pick up. That's it, right? Maybe do the dishes. Well, so then I went to look in and I saw, okay, the average maid's salary, annual salary in Spain, $28,540. So this lady's really getting screwed over. She would have made more money if she was actually a maid. All right. And then when I factored in both the child support and the maintenance, all right, that still only works out her, monthly income, or her annual income, to around 8,000 euros a year, or so, for what her previous 25 years were. Well, the typical salary in Spain is 24,000 euros. So, that wouldn't have even been what minimum wage was, or she would have been far beyond the poverty line for that much. Now, I did all those calculations, and some of them are probably flawed and whatever, but I went up to my wife and I kind of talked to her about this. And my wife's comment was, well, that lady didn't have a very good lawyer, because I told her what the maintenance fee was and what the child support was. And my wife goes, my lawyer did a lot better job than that against my ex.
And so that was what Kim had said. She's like, no, because like spousal support, child support, those kind of things, okay, you kind of understand, but getting paid for something that you did while you were married, this is a dangerous precedent to try and open this box up.
Well, but when you look at it, and that's why they refer to it as maintenance, moving forward, because what happened was, and this is the way that the lawyer termed it to my wife, because my wife got this when she got divorced, was my wife basically put her life on hold to maintain the family unit, to keep the house moving, to watch the kids, so that the husband could go out and earn a living to maintain the house, to maintain the status quo of the house, right? So therefore, my wife didn't get any appreciable work experience, didn't get any appreciable skill sets or anything like that. So therefore, you almost need to put her on almost a subsidized income during the time which she can develop those skills and find a job that she can get to become self-sufficient, because you basically held her back, demanding that she take care of the kids in the house, while you went off and, in this case, built a multi-million-dollar gym empire and then wanted to leave her with nothing.
Okay. I kind of see where they were going with that, which I guess does make sense. Okay. To a point.
I mean, you can't say that she didn't do...
And now I'm also thinking like Angie's way, like, okay, horrible lawyer.
Yeah, really. But the thing you have to remember is Spain is still very much in the patriarchy. It's still a very male-dominated society. Well, I'm actually surprised this woman got this much, because
mean,
I would see the judge saying nothing.
If this was America, she would have gotten a percentage of the business.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Or he would have had to buy her out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we may not be seeing the entire settlement here, but my bet is, because from just the way that this seems to have been crafted, it seems like he built this business from nothing, you know, only because she was able to take care of everything else at home. And he wants to leave her with nothing at the end.
Wow.
And, of course, my wife also asked the question, well, how young is the woman that he ran away with?
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's always the question.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't say that in the article, and I couldn't read it in the comments either. But, you know. But, yeah. So that, I mean, but yeah, I think that's why it's not more, is because it's Spain, and it's still a male-dominated society there.
No, you bring up a very good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Talking about women, though, and the way that they think a little bit, Mike, if Mrs. 8-Man sent you a text message and said, we're going to be parents in December, what would you think that means?
Send it like today?
Like right now. Like if you just suddenly your phone buzzed and you went, okay, this is the message, and that's what she sent. What would come to your mind?
Planning ahead much? Because for that to happen, how do you know that already? Or
well, it is 9 months.
Yeah, exactly. So if it just happened, okay, it is March 13th. So 9 months from now would mean that she's got less than 2 weeks, would have had to have conceived. And I don't believe there is a pregnancy test that is that accurate to tell her that, or any kind of inkling to be sure that, yes, our little fun time.
Let's say she wrote this. We may be
changing up. Okay.
I'm going to change it slightly because I got the wording wrong. We may be parents in June. What if she wrote you that?
Today.
Yes, today.
I'd be like, we're going to go on Jerry Springer. You know this, right?
Because this is the text I got from my wife. We were talking about one of the grandkids spending the night, and I said,
okay, but
go ahead.
The flip side to that would have been, okay, 2-legged or 4-legged. But that's just
that's what I was thinking.
So.
Oh, by the way, we'll finish up in this. We'll finish up real quick. So, McKenna says in the article it stated that husband kept all the assets. She also worked unpaid in the gym business, and he kept the business.
That falls right in line with the whole patriarchy.
Yep.
Old world way of thinking that you were alluding to.
Yep. So we were talking about one of the grandkids spending the night. I said, hey, has Raylan talked to his dad yet? He said, he has asked, but I have not heard from his dad. By the way, we may be parents again in June. That's the text I received. Took me a couple minutes because we had not been talking about anything even remotely close to anything like that before.
I'm scared to comment because I don't know if this is where this is going.
And so I wrote back and I said, you do mean to a puppy, right? And she said, well, if I'm having a baby in June, we will be rich beyond our wildest dreams. And I said, well, normally one wouldn't say it that way. Sorry. And she goes, well, we are doggy parents. And I'm like, no. You don't say it that way. You could have said, we'll hear the pitter patter of little feet. And I would have said, okay, a dog. I'm good. You don't say we're going to be parents again.
So, is one of your dogs pregnant?
No. My wife has wanted another dog, since we lost so many so quickly. And we weren't sure how long Ivy was actually going to hold on with all the other sisters gone. And Ivy's lasted a lot longer than we actually thought she was. And our middle child, actually, him and his wife actually put down the down payment for a puppy for us for Christmas, because my wife wants a Shih Tzu. So since I got a dog, since I got Penny, who was a rescue, my wife really wanted a Shih Tzu, and we couldn't find a Shih Tzu in any of the shelters or anything. Because Shih Tzus are kind of rare in shelters. But my daughter-in-law knows somebody who does ethical breeding of them. And so she was thinking about doing another litter, but wasn't sure when it was going to be or anything. And so it was one of those things where, hey, whenever it happens, here's the deposit, so that they would have first pick of the puppies, when and if it happened. And so it's been a little while since then, and evidently heat happened, and a little wine and some candlelight, and little puppy love happened. And so maybe if there's a female out of that breed, we might be getting another dog.
Okay.
But we're going to be parents again. It's not the way to tell me that.
I can see where the heart attack would come in. No, there are some things, we've talked about phrases you shouldn't use in a relationship. I think that's one of them. Unless you're actively trying, that should be one of them. I put that right up there with calm down.
We need to talk.
Are you done?
Oh, I didn't say you were a bitch. I said you were acting like a bitch. No, don't say that ever. That's just, that's a horrible one to say. So.
Hello, Teresa. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. So, yeah.
So, we didn't really talk about it on the air, but a couple of weeks ago, there was a layoff at my company, and as a result, I started getting a lot of stuff popping up on my newsfeed about businesses and all of this stuff. And this article came up, really got me thinking. A New York City worker, she contracted for a tech company. She saw that the company she contracted to was hiring for her position at $90,000 more than she was getting paid as a contractor.
Sweet.
So she applied for it. And Kim, I was trying to discuss this with Kim. Basically, New York City has a new salary transparency law that if you post a job that is based in New York City, you have to post what the salary range is. And what she was getting paid as a contractor. Now, I guess the company contracted with a firm and the firm negotiated the rate with the contractor. And Colin, I see you're nodding, so you're probably the most familiar with this whole scenario out of all of us, because I believe you are a contractor, right?
Yeah.
So she gets her salary is negotiated with the firm that contracts with the company.
Yeah.
I may be getting.
Yeah, there's always with contracting. There's always at least one person in the middle between the contractor and who they're who they're working, who that contractor is performing the work for. Yeah.
So the funny part about this is, as soon as she put it out there on Twitter, the whole situation, and it started getting national coverage through like the New York Times and such, she got called into an emergency meeting with the head of human resources at her company.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think of was, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Let her go so that she is now free to possibly accept the job from she would be, in my mind,
should be the ideal candidate.
She would be, exactly. She's been doing the job.
Yeah.
Knows how to do the job, knows everything. You could bring her on board day one, no training. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
know
ideal
what kind
situation.
of work she does.
Yeah. As long as you don't have any other problems with her, as long as there's no other issues, then she would be the ideal scenario. And honestly, we've had in the past, I'm not talking about like recent, but they're long-term past, we've had this situation at the state of Illinois. We tend to go through these cycles where it's like, okay, our workforce is going to be made up of contractors. Nope, our workforce is going to be made up of full-time employees. And it balances, it jumps back and forth. And so, you'll go through a time where it's like, okay, well, listen, we're going to get rid of all the contractors and we're just going to do full-time employees. Well, okay, then we need to hire people. Okay, who are we going to hire? Well, let's hire the contractors who have now been laid off by their contracting companies, because then we don't got to train them. They already know what the hell they're doing. And we can start them at a low wage, and then, great. And sometimes that works out well. Sometimes it doesn't. Just depends. But, that definitely has happened. And in my mind, it's a little bit of a win-win when it works out. So,
The part that kind of stood out for me was she took the job with the firm as a contractor under the guise that it was a temp to perm position. And in the article, she says they kept dangling the carrot of this is going to be a permanent position. This will be a permanent position event. And then she saw they were posting to hire somebody as a permanent position.
Yeah. So
I've never been in that situation. It strikes me as kind of fugazi. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, I mean, depending upon the company, sometimes you're not able to. Depending upon the contract that you signed, depending upon what language is in the contract, like we're not allowed to poach contractors, right? So like if Colin was working for my agency, I couldn't come right out and say, hey, Colin, we're going to be, we're transitioning your position to a full-time position and we'd love for you to apply. Now I could, say, hey, Colin, don't forget, if you ever need something, just check out our openings. I could say that, but I couldn't say, hey, we're going to be posting that position that has your exact specs, and we really hope that you apply for it. So.
Yep. Unfortunately, I go look at it. I go like, yeah, good job. You've posted that spec. According to this, if I want to be paid a quarter of what I'm paid now and be at the absolute bottom tier of the union, I could take that job. I don't think so.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's so many gotchas. And, it, like I said, sometimes it works out great, sometimes it doesn't.
Thing. So, to your point, the win-win. They said that depending on the experience of the candidate, they would be getting paid anywhere from $35,000 to $90,000 more than what she was making as the contract. So they could offer her a $20,000 bump.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd still be making a significant amount more.
Mm-hmm.
And the company would be better off in the long run because that's a margin they're not paying to the contracting firm.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you got to go through a contracting firm, you're paying extra because you're paying that middleman. And sometimes you're paying multiple middlemen. I mean, depending upon, for us, especially the contract vehicle we have to go through, sometimes we're paying 2 middlemen, you know? And so you can just imagine how much markup there is each time because everybody wants a cut.
And somewhere somebody is saying, well, it still makes better financial sense long term because we're not paying health benefits and we're not paying vacation and we're not paying possibly a pension, and they don't get any kind of discounts that we may have to subsidize. So it still makes sense to pay more through and it's just a different column on the balance sheet, and I don't pretend to know or understand, but money is money.
I completely agree. A
dollar is a dollar. It doesn't matter what you're spending it on. A dollar is a dollar. So,
yeah. I look at it as rent versus own, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. The difference is with a contractor. You know what? I can't even say that because depending on there's different types of contract labor. So I can't even. I
will say, you know, you do have some flexibility with contractors that you don't necessarily have with full-time employees. If something goes wrong, conflict arises, a lot easier to get them out. You know, you don't got to fight with the union contract. You don't got to do anything. All you got to do is call a contracting company and say, hey, listen, this isn't working out anymore. Send me somebody else.
Oh, you're assuming it's a union position.
Yeah, in the state, a lot of them tend to be. So
even at the employee level, it's like someone they were in an accident and they're now disabled in a way that makes it difficult for them to do their job. Oh, it's a consultant. You're just like, okay, well, that's you, meaning the consulting company's problem. You deal with it. Get somebody else for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not always fair. It's not always right, but you know, sometimes it is what it is.
And even internally with employees, like anybody who's ever managed people, you know that you have not everybody on your team doing the same job makes the same salary. Doesn't work that way. Never does.
No.
Even people that started on that have the same amount of time in the job, because of performance or what have you, there's going to be variance every year. They're going to make different amounts.
Yeah.
There is there's not always parity amongst salaries. And I'm not even going to dip my toe into the whole, glass ceiling, gender pay gap thing. I'm not even going to touch that one because that it's too close to 8:30 when we have to start doing the movie reviews. The gap is there with contractors as well. So
Yep.
But that much, $90,000. Could you imagine?
I mean, especially in a city like that where the cost of living is so high, you know, and
can you imagine, especially that the job possibly could be outsourced to ChatGPT in another year?
Oh, I have been playing with that a little bit more.
Kim's got into it now.
I have gotten into it.
I haven't been messing with it. Kim's gotten into it.
I actually had it write me an original movie review for one of the movies that we did.
No, you did not.
I did. I'll do it again because it'll be great. And it'll introduce us into this into the next segment. So,
son of a bitch, he's cheating on his homework already.
No. I didn't have it do it on this one. I had it do it on, like I said, one that we've done before. But that was pretty cool. All
right, so go ahead. Let's see if Colin and I agree with the.
So, So here we go.
If you did the cobbler, I'm going to be so
No. Give me an original movie review of Velocipaster. So Velocipaster is a quirky and offbeat indie horror comedy that doesn't take itself too seriously. The film centers around a young pastor named Doug who gains the ability to transform into a Velocipaster after a bizarre encounter in China. As Doug grapples with his newfound abilities, he teams up with a prostitute named Carol to take on a gang of ninjas and a corrupt businessman. At its core, Velocipaster is a silly, self-aware spoof of B-movies that revels in its absurdity. The film is packed with over-the-top violence, cheesy dialogue, and intentionally bad special effects that add to its charm. The performances are intentionally campy, with Cohen and Kaminsky fully embracing the film's absurd premise and delivering hilarious performances. While Velocipaster may not be for everyone, it's a refreshing break from the typical Hollywood formula. The film embraces its low-budget roots and wears its sense of humor on its sleeve. If you're looking for a fun and ridiculous movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, then Velocipaster is definitely worth checking out. Just be prepared for a wild ride. Perfectly valid for that movie.
I'm so... No.
No, I'm going to do the...
No.
What? Dinosaurs?
No.
What?
No.
Okay.
Anna and the Apocalypse.
Okay.
Let's really put it to a test.
See if I can spell. All right. Refreshing and entertaining twist on the zombie genre. Film centers around a group of high school students who must fight their way through a zombie apocalypse to reach their loved ones and save Heyman. It's a clever combination of horror and musical elements. Features catchy musical numbers that are seamlessly integrated into the story. Performances are top-notch with standout performances from Ella Hunt, Malcolm Cumming. The supporting cast also delivers strong performances. And in the Apocalypse manages to strike a perfect balance between horror, humor, and heart. The characters are well developed and the relationships are genuine, making the emotional stakes of the film all the more impactful. Mike, this is going to replace us.
Yeah,
No.
Okay, but let's see what it does. I'm curious. Ask it for a review of Cocaine Shark.
Oh.
Yeah, and while it's thinking about this one, let's point out that it didn't once mention that Anna and the Apocalypse was British. So
it's not a real or widely recognized movie. Remember, the database for this was 2017.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Do the cobbler.
Okay.
Let's find out. Go ahead. Why not?
The question is it capable of writing a review of a movie that it doesn't like?
It does. It knows the cobbler.
It knows it.
Yep. Departure from Sandler's usually.
It loves to say it's a refreshing something.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a refreshing departure from
Sandler's
while the
usual.
cobbler may not be for everyone, that's about as close to saying I hated this movie as an AI is going to.
People hate. How many people hate the cobbler movie?
Yeah, see.
All right. So anyway, I thought that was really cool that it could actually.
We got one more minute. Let's do 45 Days to Be Rich, the movie that we all think needs to be killed in fire.
Yes.
Let's see if this thing is refreshing
Entertaining. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's not. Oh, is it? Yeah, okay.
All right.
Enjoyable comedy. Nope.
All right.
Costume design is noteworthy with nope.
Can you say, you know what, if you said an original negative review of 45 Days to Be Rich?
Oh, that's
That fails to live up to its potential.
See? Okay. Now we're talking. So you can easily sway this by saying whether you liked it or you didn't. So here you go. Now you are watch your reviews, folks.
Yeah.
Watch. Let's see which one. Let's see who starts doing their reviews with.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say this, there's no excuse to. Oh, you didn't watch the movie? We didn't watch the movie? Nope. Listen, watch like the trailer, decide whether you might like it or not, and let ChatGPT write your review for you.
It'll give you the Cliff Notes review.
There you go.
All right. Speaking of reviews, it is time for the double feature movie review.
It's time for me and Mike to see if we can remember these movies.
Oh, I do because I watched them both last night.
I got my notes, so.
Oh, all right. So it is Shotgun Wedding and something
Home Team.
Home Team. That's right, Home Team with Kevin Hart. Yep.
James.
Kevin Hart James. So, all right, Colin, we'll start with you first. You can even pick the movie that you want to do.
Let's do Home Team first, since I already have it loaded up here. So, Home Team is a movie that was written about when Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints at the time, was put on suspension after the gate event of players being given extra money for attacking other players in the NFL. Whatever. I wasn't paying attention. I don't care about the Saints. But so apparently this movie was based a bit on real life. And other than, none of the characters act or look like who they were in real life. This is a movie of two parts to me, okay? So there's one part which is Kevin James being Sean Payton and doing this plot line of he can't be an NFL coach, so he goes back home as a coach for his son in Texas. And they do a pretty good job, and they win a lot of games. Oh, that's interesting. But this became something connected to, was it Happy Gilmore Productions? Anyway, it's an Adam Sandler thing. Adam Sandler's not in it, but it's his production company. And so they decided, okay, that's great, but let's fill in the other half of the movie with plot lines that didn't happen. Okay, so in real life, Sean Payton and his wife, their marriage was falling apart at the time, and their divorce was after the events of the movie. In this movie, they're already divorced, and for some strange reason, the wife has become remarried to Rob Schneider, who plays a moron. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Rob Schneider. He is a moron. So from this character, you get a lot of stupid comedy and gross out comedy. Like he gives everybody these health shakes that makes them all throw up on the field. All these stupid things like this, which did not actually happen. And there's also these moments in the hotel where Kevin James is staying. Sure, that didn't happen either, but actually that part I'll give a pass because other than I'm not sure why Best Western allowed their logo to be displayed on this terrible hotel that he's staying in. I don't know. I kind of, in the end, kind of liked the hotel scenes, so I'll give that one a pass. But yeah, the Rob Schneider stuff was terrible. Of course, all you need to know is that Rob Schneider is there, and of course, you will know it's terrible. So that works. But on balance, I'm going to give this movie a smirk. I think the parts of it that actually match with real life were good enough to turn it into a watchable movie. It just every time Rob Schneider comes on the screen, that's a good time to go use the bathroom. There you go.
All right. Mike, you're up next.
I'm not going to lie, not even a little bit. I'm sick of Kevin James, especially in Adam Sandler movies. Product placement right from the jump in this movie with the close-up on Juicy Fruit. If this movie turns into one big-ass commercial, Kevin's brother has to have a part in this movie, right? He is pretty much the Cliff Howard of the Happy Madison universe. And screw Rob Schneider's man bun. It's the last I will ever speak of that. Vegan ice cream. We're going to go for vegan ice cream. I swear to God, this movie's going to get a puke for even suggesting vegan ice cream is a thing. And also, I'd like to mention that is not a jacuzzi in Kevin James's room. That is a jacuzzi tub. That means it has a drain, so drain the water. And never use a jacuzzi in a hotel room unless you bring your own decontamination tent. Lone Star Beer, more product placement. Okay, now we know how they paid for this movie. To Colin's point, Rob Schneider playing these hippie characters in every movie these days. Is this him in real life, or is this some kind of running joke, or I don't. Movies turning slowly into a sad commentary on youth sports these days. The entire parents stay in the stand thing kind of hit home with me because I see parents get way too into it. And that's why I never got into coaching hockey. See, here's the thing. 99% of these kids that you coach aren't going pro, and the parents don't understand that. Here's another thing that's bothering me with this movie. Kevin James' accent is coming and going pretty much the same way Kevin Costner's did in Robin Hood. The singing scene in front of the house is perhaps the absolute dumbest scene ever in an after-school movie. And I put after school in air quotes here for you, right? Because there's a lesson coming at this movie, and you know it. And it wasn't shakes, they were super logs that Rob Schneider made. Everybody, how the hell are they all allowed to continue? Why is play continuing while everybody's puking? There's got to be some kind of rule against this. Okay? This movie, 100%, as I called it when it was selected, turned into a bad imitation of Little Giants. I'm pretty sure... Verb, okay? It's a verb. If you want to watch a heartwarming kids football movie, go watch Little Giants. Don't watch this. Verb.
All right.
Colin, I'm sorry. I what was yours again? I didn't type it down.
I said smirk. I think we both agree that it's not a mat. It's just on which side of the mat do you put it. It's it's right there in the middle of it.
Agreed.
All right. So, I'm not tired of Kevin James. I like him. I think that this is another one of those movies where he's trying to balance comedy and drama, and I this is one of those movies that I could get into. You know, this is one where my wife watched it with me, and she was somewhat entertained from it. You know, Rob Schneider was over the top, but Rob Schneider is always over the top. So I don't even really notice it anymore. It just is, you know, doesn't terribly bother me. I just know that's going to happen. You know, at least he wasn't the "you can do it" guy from you know, Happy Gilmore, or from Bobby Boucher. So, you know, the life lessons that are learned in this are pretty good. The overall storytelling is good. I think there were only a couple moments where it really dragged. I agree with Colin. I think that the scenes in the hotel were pretty good, even if they were a little bit overdone. You know, so overall, I kind of liked the movie. I thought it was, like I said, pretty good. It was a good family watch too. So I'm actually going to give this one a smile on the other side of meh from everybody else. So yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, we're both on the same side of meh. You're just one click over from smart.
Okay. All righty. Next up, Shotgun Wedding. And we'll do it in the same order. So, Colin.
Okay, Shotgun Wedding is a J-Lo movie with... Okay, IMDb is not showing me... Oh, there we go. With Josh Duhamel. Anyway, this is a movie where the plot is... Okay, there's a wedding, and then X brings in mercenary pirates to try to kidnap everyone for blackmail purposes. But the two leads of the couple who are trying to get married are kind of capering around the island and getting away from the bad guys, and in the end, everything's good. It's what you expect. You know, all the bad guys either arrested or killed, and everybody, you know, the couple who had some problems here and didn't have problems there, they get married, and then that's all good, and who cares? That's not important. Okay, what's important in this movie is this movie has an amazing cast. Okay, so come in to watch the movie to see Jennifer Lopez, Josh Duhamel, Lenny Kravitz, Jennifer Coolidge, Cheech Marin, Sonia Braga, Steve Coulter, Darcy Carden, Kelly Hernandez. I'm going to stop listing names because I'm not sure. There's a lot of people. It's like, oh, it's that guy. And then there's a whole bunch of nameless pirates who just get killed anyway, so who cares about them? Anyway, it's a bunch of really good comic actors who are interacting, and they're fun. And watch this movie to watch them, because the actual plot is stupid and it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and give this a... it's going to be a smile. I'm not going to give anything higher than a smile. It would need a better plot to get something better than a smile. But there's some good dialogue with some good actors. Go for it.
All right, Mike.
Listen to me, guys. Don't nobody go looking on Etsy for ideas for their wedding. All right. Every person with a pulse knows that you find that shit on Pinterest. Dude's got a camcorder. I didn't think anybody actually still owned those. A brand name one, no less. You find them like no name, like Wushu Shi on Amazon. If I was in a hotel with J-Lo and she was crawling around on a bed asking me for sex, I would not be playing with pineapples. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, here's a flip of everything I've known about weddings. He is the one concerned with the details. She is the one who just wants simple. I'm just going to quote Robert Pattinson here right now. Get off me. The role of a groom at a wedding is nothing more than a prop. Sooner guys get that through their head, the easier a wedding will be. Trust me. She tries to throw the ring, and he makes an NHL or World Series Game 7 over the wall save catch to catch the ring. Now comes the dumbest debate in a movie since the Brondo scene in Idiocracy, where they're talking about how to trap the pirate with the net or hairspray or booty sweat. I was very close to tapping out at this point. I'm not going to lie. And I'm looking at these guys' masks, and this one dude has pull tabs all over his mask. One, how much time did that take to make? Two, did you find that on Pinterest? And three, does that not hurt like hell? Let's just celebrate that we just killed a man on our wedding day. Yeah. He was a pirate and he was a bad man, but we should celebrate while I'm holding a grenade. Now they're going to go ahead and they're in a kitchen. They're in a kitchen. They have zip ties on their hands. They're in a kitchen. They're going to use a meat slicer to cut the zip ties. They're in the kitchen. There's knives everywhere. See that? They sliced his hands. Why don't you just use the fire in the oven behind you? I mean, just as safe, right? In the kitchen. And just like that, Lenny Kravitz is the bad guy. I never thought I'd see this. J-Lo gonna ugly cry right now. We'd come. I don't know who said it, but we'd come with you, but we don't want to. You know what? I can relate. I don't want to watch the rest of the movie now because it's getting that dumb. But here I am. I'm just going to say this right now. If any of our listeners are getting married and they're going to have karaoke at their reception, you can email us show@ptrradio.com and we will be there as long as it's open bar. Mm-hmm. So I'm giving this one a smirk. It wasn't great, not a repeat watch situation, but I did smile more than I shrugged or complained. So give it a smirk.
All right. So we watched this one second. I think my wife probably did fall asleep during this one. She was not nearly as impressed with this as Home Team. But Mike definitely picked up on things that I also thought were unbelievable. The ring catch was epic. And, the meat slicer was ridiculous. The fact that she passed out every time she saw blood was just remarkable. And did anybody else think that in the kitchen fight scene, the bad guy was going to go into the meat slicer? Did anyone else think that was going to happen? Because it was still running when they were fighting.
That would have been nicer. I would at least that would have explained why they used the meat slicer to slice zip ties in a kitchen.
I mean, because just throwing him through a single pane glass window, I don't think would have knocked him out like it did. But. So, yes, the yelling and screaming that they killed a guy. Meanwhile, the other guy is still around there with the machine gun. Begs the question of why. The father. I did like the revelations of the not so perfect marriages. Those were pretty fun. And Stifler's mom sure can shoot a machine gun. That was very fun. She said, nobody F's with my family. That was good. Meanwhile, they send mom off with the machine gun and the rest of the party guests towards the end of the movie. They go running after the bad guys with a cake knife. And that's it. Not the smartest decision in the world. Turns out to be the right one, but not the smartest one. I don't think. And boy, that hair is getting a lot of use in this movie. So that's pretty good use of a prop. As Colin mentioned, tons and tons and tons of people in this movie that you know. I think that they did miss a golden opportunity. They could have had Tommy Chong, had a small cabana on the beach or something that they ran into. That would have been really cool. There could have been some other cameos in there somewhere that would have been awesome. But whatever, their movie. I'll let them cast it how they want. But overall, again, it's one of those where I was kind of entertained. I thought it was fun. And so, again, I will give this one a smile as well, because it is one where I think I'll throw it on when I have people over to watch dinner and nobody else agrees on what else to watch. Because I can throw this on in the background and nobody's going to complain about it. So, yep, another smile.
Okay. I think for me it's that I'll give it a smile because there are scenes in that movie I wouldn't want to watch again. I don't want to watch the movie as a whole. But I might throw on, the scenes where the families were all together, and the thing about the marriages, and those are fun scenes, and as much as it's the kind of thing you'd always thought about, I don't know if anyone's ever actually done the finale before with the helicopter and the parachute.
Yeah, true. I don't know that one's been done.
I don't know. I feel like I got done watching this movie and I started to get concerned for J-Lo's health. Like, is this the start of her Bruce Willis phase of her career? Is there something wrong that she lowered herself to make this movie, or did she just want to hang out with all of the people that were already cast in this movie?
Good question.
Okay, maybe I'm missing something, but has J-Lo ever been in a good movie?
Monster-in-Law, The Wedding Planner, Made in Manhattan. Not Shakira. Selena. Although good is subjective. I mean,
she was in Anaconda.
My point is, it's not like
Shaggy. Do not be on my side on this, please. If you're going to quote movies like that, don't be on my side.
Wait a second. J-Lo's never really been known for a high output of good movies.
How about The Backup Plan? Wasn't that a good one?
I don't know.
For some reason, I thought she was in a movie with the one from Friends, Chandler from Friends.
No, that was Salma Hayek.
Okay.
Where she gave
was
birth on
pregnant.
the dam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say she was in Selena?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Jersey Girl. She was in Jersey Girl.
Monster-in-Law was like the one that I think she was. I really liked her in, but I mean, again.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
She's a singer who's done some movies. She's not someone who's primarily a movie actress. We'll have to see, but she has a new album coming out this year called This Is Me Now. We'll have to see if the album is any good. Not that I've ever listened to a Jennifer Lopez album in the first place, but
Well, hey, she is Jenny from the block, so.
That's right.
Oh, I've
right.
definitely heard
All right.
Little songs. Just I've never listened to an entire album of her music.
All right, time to pick movies for next time. Mike, how many do we have?
You got 37.
37 after some trimming. 17.
Well, I'm pretty sure that this is still up there. We'll double check. Why is it? Oh, that's right. I guess I cleared cookies or something. Yep, it's still there. This is a Netflix original called How I Became a Superhero. Why do I feel like we... Did we review this one?
Wait a second. I think this is in a foreign language.
This is dubbed. Who put this on here? It's dubbed.
I thought I took it off after I realized it was dubbed.
Well, you may have, but okay. So moving on.
All right, next one. 25.
25.
It's too bad because it looks like a good movie.
Okay, this one is on Freevee. Crazy on the Outside. This is Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Ray Liotta, a recently paroled ex-con who has trouble adjusting to the wacky normalcy of life outside of prison.
Okay.
What number did I say that was? Oh, Crazy on the Outside, 25. Okay, hold on. Let me just copy that over.
All right.
Okay.
And 12.
12. Well, Beetlejuice. No. I think we watched this one.
What?
Breach with Bruce Willis.
I think regardless, even if we haven't watched it, any Bruce Willises should be dropped.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to watch it because it has Rachel Nichols in it, but I tend to agree with Colin. I feel like we might not be able to give this a fair rating. Because we know it's not going to be stellar. And if we give it anything less than a Schneikes, then it could be looked at as, oh, you hate Bruce Willis.
All right, 22.
This one I know is still available, and damn it, we're going to do this one. This one's on YouTube. Oh, no. No, it's not. Now it's private. Son of a bitch.
What movie?
Driven. Because Sylvester Stallone can drive an F1 car.
Oh. All right.
Damn it.
10. 10.
Another Netflix original.
All right. Well, at least we know it should be there.
Yes, we know it is. This is Spiderhead.
Oh, okay. This is
prisoner in a state-of-the-art penitentiary begins to question the purpose of the emotion-controlling drugs he's testing for a pharmaceutical genius.
Yeah, this is an R-rated kind of thriller.
Starring Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller, Journey Smollett, and more.
Yep.
This may be one of the first R-rated ones we've done in a while.
It's definitely going to, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a challenge for me to get through the movie. Because I think it is pretty thrillery, and I typically don't do well with those. I've been able to get through the horrors that we've done because they've been campy horrors.
Okay.
You know, but I don't do well with real horror films or suspensey thrillery ones. So it'll be interesting to see how I do with this one. If I actually make it through.
I think you'll make it through.
So.
I was trying to find Driven to see if it was around somewhere still. Have you two seen Rush?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It came up instead. I said Driven. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. All right. So, with that said, folks, we are going to call it an evening for tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining along with us. Really do thank you for getting word out about the show. You know, because it's really only through you guys spreading the word and listening along that we have an opportunity to grow the audience. So make sure that if you do like what you hear, that you tell folks about it. You know, like us, share us on your social media at PTR Radio. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all the other fun stuff, including Instagram. We haven't posted on there in a while, but maybe we'll throw something up there. We are going to have some events coming up. I've got a trivia night next month. We'll talk about that on the next show. And then I'm actually planning one for after that. Mike says the weather is getting nice in New Jersey, so he'll be out and about here in a little while as well.
Yeah, it's getting too nice.
Yeah. Here, it can't decide if it wants to be nice or if it wants to be freezing cold. We will go from 60 one day to 20 the next, which is awesome for sinuses. So.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Meanwhile, Colin is, doing. We really do appreciate Colin recuperating and being able to make the show. So, Colin, we want you to continue on your road to recovery.
Yeah, my next show, I should be past the 6-week mark.
Yep.
Which is the mark where they're like, at that point, it hasn't started leaking again, and they'll be happy.
Yep. So then you can start back up on your MMA fighting classes. And just don't forget your headgear this time.
Speaking of headgear, the big thing is going to be I get to use my CPAP again.
Ah, there you go. So
I'm very much looking forward to that.
All right, folks. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a couple weeks. That'll put us back on the 27th. We look forward to hearing about all your shenanigans during your during the St. Patrick's Day holiday. Don't forget, while you're out there, have a designated driver, be safe, and, don't drink and drive, do all the fun stuff, get an Uber, get a designated driver, whatever it is, but do it responsibly. We need every single one of you listening every single week to make this crazy thing that we do, a podcast, fun. So, have fun, but be responsible. So with that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Ape Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.
I hope it serves as a strong reminder. You can't even help yourself with the revenge of a